Last time on Dragon Ball Shippuden, Goku is trapped in Itachi's Genjutsu, where he must fight his female counterpart who has the exact same abilities as him in an epic clash, and this counterpart pushes him to the limit where he is forced to transform into a Super Saiyan 3. Meanwhile, Naruto faces off against Kisame but proves to be inefficient at defeating the Akatsuki member until his master Jiraiya interferes, scaring off Kisame's main weapon and taking a blow to the face. But the danger is not over as the entire ninja world begins to feel the power and killing intent of a Super Saiyan 3.
Prepare yourself, Dan Saiyan.
Subscribe and hit the notification bell to help us achieve the 300k mortal plan. Every soul counts. If you guys missed yesterday's announcement, Dragon Ball Shippuden has returned and I have the brand new chapter. It was an honor to talk to the creator of Dragon Ball Shippuden himself, and he sent me a DM telling me how he is inspired by all the videos that were made on Dragon Ball S and has returned to the fold to create new chapters. So after 7 years of not working on this project and over 3 years of me not covering it, it is my privilege to bring you guys chapter 7 of Dragon Ball Shippuden. Let's go. Temari sits by the tree with her eyes closed and her lips puckered. She looks really well done here in this beautiful artwork with a color scheme that looks extremely realistic but also looks very much like the anime Naruto, and a mixture of that with a lot of watercolors. That's something that you guys can find on the creator's DeviantArt page. Brand new artworks that have a lot of this sort of visual watercolor style. So I'm gonna leave links to all Hakbos, who is the creator of Dragon Ball Shippuden's media accounts, including their Twitter, DeviantArt page, Patreon page, all that, where you guys can read Dragon Ball S. I'm gonna leave all that in the description below. Go ahead and check it out. But it looks like the reason she is waiting is because Shikamaru sees something behind him, a blinding flash, a huge light, and an incredible power just off the horizon. But he is testing Temari's patience, and she says, Shikamaru, if you keep me waiting, I'm gonna break your legs. And I would absolutely not put it past her to do so, but it looks like this is the beginning of them starting to date. Remember, this takes place right before Naruto Shippuden, so they had probably just been dating a little bit, and this is, or was, possibly their first kiss. But deep in the mountains, deep in the forest, crows and birds, all sorts of avian wildlife starts flying into the distance because they feel it as much as Shikamaru feels it. Blinding light, lightning style power, chakra that the ninja world has never felt before, and it is tremendous. And Tsunade knows exactly what's going on as she looks on in awe and realizes that this is coming from the direction that she sent Goku on previously. Goku's new transformation has changed the weather patterns all over the world, and lightning and thunder, all that crackles around his presence. And now if Goku didn't have the undivided attention of the Akatsuki, he sure as hell has it now, as we see Toby and Pain both looking on in awe as the power surges through the atmosphere and the weather throughout the entire planet begins to change. The immense amount of strength and capabilities of Itachi to hold someone in Super Saiyan 3 in a Genjutsu must be horrifying as Itachi looks on to see the transformation that just happened right before his eyes. The oceans begin to turn and become more volatile as Goku's transformation has definitely started an apocalyptic weather system around the planet, and we see here that even Sasuke has noticed what is going on and what it means for his own mission. As you can see right here, a bucket list of all the things he's got to do. Ignore Sakura, check. You see Orochimaru, kill Itachi, kill Naruto. Also, Naruto's on this bucket list as well, so he definitely wants to kill him. So this is actually a really funny tidbit. I definitely appreciate this little added bonus jest that we see here in this chapter. And as we get closer to Goku, who stands there again, still in the Genjutsu, you can see the power just emanating from his body. But all those close by, this is not good for them because the power is sucking everything around him, bringing it into where Goku is standing and creating a volatile situation at Ground Zero where Naruto and Jiraiya can barely stand to be there, and Itachi is barely holding on with his Genjutsu. Kizame, already weakened by his fight with Goku, was knocked out by Jiraiya when Jiraiya was full on ready, and Kizame had his guard down because his sword went flying and scared because of Jiraiya's strength, and he begins to think about the past, where Kizame was all alone and a very well endowed shinobi asks him to eat with them, but he says leave me alone, and the rest say he's not part of us, he's not one of us, just let him be. So it shows that Kizame also had a troubled childhood, and this is something that you see a lot in Naruto, where the past is extremely painful, and it's not like black and white where a villain is a villain and a hero is a hero. There is circumstances to what happened throughout their lifetime, but that's not all that Kizame is thinking about. He's thinking about when he was walking through the Leaf Village, and this is around the time where they first attacked Konoha, or they first infiltrated Konoha looking for Naruto, and then they fought Sasuke instead, and Kizame is ready to get this mission over with, and Itachi stands right in front of the Ichigaru restaurant, the ramen shop that Naruto and everybody else seems to frequent all the time, and Itachi calls back at Kizame and says, allow me to introduce you to my favorite restaurant, which is a tender moment between these two combatants, these two allies, or very tenuous allies at best, basically, because not everybody in the Akatsuki are friends, but it looks like Itachi and Kizame had an actual friendship going into this, and this is just showing how Kizame probably had only one friend in the world, and that was Itachi. And as Kizame comes back to reality, the realization is that he is possibly at death's door right now. That punch looks like it really took everything out of Kizame, and the fact that he is in the whirlpool of ki emanating from Super Saiyan 3 Goku probably isn't helping matters much. Back in the Genjutsu, we see that Super Saiyan 3 Goku is a reality when facing off against his female counterpart, Sun Goku, S-U-N, and Sun is staring at him in awe. And for the remainder of this review for this story, I'm just gonna call the female version of Goku Sun and Goku Goku. She recommends that Goku surrender because at these levels right now, she would have a hard time not killing Goku, and if she is part of Itachi's Genjutsu, I don't know if Goku dies in this Genjutsu, he probably does die in real life, and they want to take Goku back, at least his body, to dissect it and see exactly what makes him tick, maybe make some weapons out of Super Saiyan Ki and his biology, which would be crazy to even think about. Orochimaru would have a field day with Goku, and Goku says, don't worry about me, I'm fine. This is the moment where I started realizing that the artwork is a little bit different than it was before. It's more dynamic, it's more visceral, there's more musculature, there's more details, and it just looks like an enhanced style of what we've seen before. And it's been 7 years since he's drawn this Dragon Ball fan manga, so it definitely makes sense for there to be such a huge improvement in the artwork. But Sun reverts back to her base form, and she tells him again to surrender because at these levels there will be collateral damage, not just here but on the outside world as well. As you guys can see, it's having huge dramatic effects on the planet. And she asks him, I'm fine with killing innocent people, are you? So that just shows that even though she is the female counterpart to Goku, she isn't exactly like female Goku. She's just kind of like the visualization, the representation of what Goku is in a female form. But she, as I told you guys before, has basically taken a life of her own. And I'm hoping that she becomes an actual real life character. Maybe she pops out of the Genjutsu and becomes real at some point. But Goku says when he goes back, he'll resurrect everybody that he's killed, which is a very callous thing to say. Like, he wouldn't mind people dying just for him to have a good fight as long as he can bring them back, which doesn't sound like a Goku that we know as base Goku, but definitely sounds like something a Super Saiyan 2 Goku or more would say, even Super Saiyan. And Sun says the exact same thing. You shouldn't make decisions while you're Super Saiyan 3 because
it clouds your mind essentially. The euphoria of the transformation prevents its user from having a clear mind. It's worse than Super Saiyan 3, go back to normal so we can talk. And she wants to talk it out with him at this point, and she's kind of talking down a little bit to Goku, but still she has a point, because we all know that the Super Saiyan transformations just change the way that your attitude is, especially for someone as friendly and nice and docile as Goku. But Goku says, don't worry, I'm fine. Like he has this all under control, which he probably does not. So Sun decides, you know what, whatever, and she transforms into a Super Saiyan 2, saying that this is going to be enough for you. And Goku's kind of pissed off at that. Why aren't you transforming into a Super Saiyan 3? But she says, don't worry about me, I'm fine. Listen, focus on yourself. I have enough power in this form. Obviously, you guys can tell the culture that is throughout this entire page. There is a lot of culture coming from Sun. Again, this is my favorite Dragon Ball fan manga right now, and this is one of my favorite Dragon Ball fan manga characters to ever exist. Maybe I should make a list on top 10 Dragon Ball fan manga characters, like original characters, because there are a lot of them, and she would definitely be at the top. Goku's surprised, you sound like you're stronger than me, and she cuts him off, I am. You're not the first Super Saiyan 3 that I've killed, which really kind of messes with my mind, because she's supposed to be a part of the Genjutsu, something that Itachi just came up with, but it almost seems like she is a reality, maybe in a different universe or something. Remember, the Sharingan can transport you to different dimensions, so maybe, I don't know, she is real and Itachi transferred Goku's consciousness to a different dimension where there is a female Goku. I don't know, but Goku says it's fine with him. Interesting. He is excited. Let's fucking go. And she probably should have transformed, because he gets the first hit and it looks like it's completely devastating, hitting her right in the stomach, and she did not see that coming. Like, the levels of power that Super Saiyan 3 showcases and how strong it is to normal people, and just in a ninjutsu world and just a ninja world, and even to the female counterpart Sun, shows so well in the way that this art is shown with the powers, the abilities, the strikes. Because look at this. This looks like really, really strong, really chaotic, and a lot of ki that was pushed into Sun to make her go down, and it looks like she is definitely going down, you know what I'm saying? But before she has a chance to catch her breath, essentially, because he basically took the air out of her, he grabs her by the head and shoves her on the ground. And because she insulted him by not transforming to a Super Saiyan 3, he is going to show her that she probably should have, and he is going to end this battle. And I love the detail in this artwork, Hakubo. This is amazing. This is my favorite panel. I know there were a lot of, cultured panels before, but this one is my favorite one right now. Goku looks like Ichigo when he transforms into his hollow self. He looks like an evil villain. I love it. This is awesome. Lightning cuts us back to reality as Itachi stands before what we can now clearly see is Super Saiyan 3 Goku. And just the fact that this transformation is just having so much damaging effects to the entire planet. I can only imagine, what if Goku went God? What if he went Super Saiyan Blue? It's like we're so used to this in the Dragon Ball world, and these guys are absolutely not. Kizame starts realizing that Itachi is in trouble. He can't hold Super Saiyan 3 Goku for very long, and if Goku snaps out of it, he's going to destroy Itachi. So Kizame starts trying to gather up strength, because he needs to defend Itachi at all costs, but his body is falling apart. But he needs to do what he can for one of his best friends, if not his best friend, because he is vulnerable, and that's when something grabs a hold of Kizame. And now we have somebody else that has changed and become darker with a brand new transformation. Naruto finally jumps into the field, and he has transformed into his nine-tailed fox aura. It looks like this is four tails, and it's one of my favorite ones. I think this is the limit of where he can go without losing himself in this part of the story. But he grabs hold of Kizame before Kizame can interrupt, and he looks like he's going to deliver a devastating Rasengan to him. And as Naruto pulls back, Kizame's like, so this is how I die. And it looks like Naruto's not pulling any punches, similar to Goku. Actually, the similarities between Goku going dark and about to destroy Son Goku, and then Naruto doing the exact same thing to Kizame, it's a very similar song. Like, this looks like it could be cut together next to each other to showcase exactly what their powers can do to their biology and their mind. And it looks like Naruto is going in for the kill to finally destroy Kizame, reaching back and delivering a huge Rasengan, a 9-tail fox Rasengan, into Kizame's sternum. This possibly kills Kizame, leaving Itachi all alone. The only direction that I see the story going after this is the rest of the Akatsuki coming in to try to help out their team members, because yeah, it looks like Team Itachi is probably down for the count, and I could see like someone like Madara having to expose himself to get access to Goku's body, because Goku is by far the strongest being in this universe. I just love Dragon Ball Shippuden. Thank you so much for allowing me to review it. I cannot wait for the next chapter, guys. Again, all the links to the original creator are in the description and the top comment. Go ahead, support the creator, always support the original creator. Let's go ahead and see who won hashtag End of Video Squad.
The winner of today's hashtag End of Video Squad, the soul that decided to stay till the very end of my previous video and drop hashtag End of Video Squad on their comment, is going to be JN Harrell. I was disappointed when the series ended, but now I know it back. Blackscape, enjoy your high note. Dude, I am enjoying this high note as much as I can, as loudly as possible as I can. You guys can hear it in my voice. Not only has my voice returned after being sick, but I'm also really excited, and I was disappointed when the series ended. I honestly think that this was the first time I read a Dragon Ball fan manga where it didn't really finish up and it kind of ended so abruptly, where I was extremely disappointed and I was so sad. And it was a harsh reality coming from somebody who had just started reviewing Dragon Ball fan mangas all those years ago, and realizing that a lot of them don't have endings, and this one, thank God, after years and years, finally does. And it just gives me hope that other Dragon Ball fan mangas that ended prematurely can also come back and keep going. And if you guys are fan manga creators that have stopped and are coming back, DM me similar to Hawkbo, and I will absolutely jump on your Dragon Ball fan manga. Thank you so much for your comment, Jane Harold. This is going to be Blackscape signing off. Take care, guys.
Subscribe for more content.